A hand goes halfway up in a meeting, then comes back down. Nobody saw it happen. Not really. But something in that half second decided the room was safer without your voice in it. You do this more than you think. Not because you don't have the answer. Because some part of your brain doesn't actually want you to stand out. I'll just email it later. It's not that important anyway. You've told yourself some version of that 100 times, and it never felt like fear. It felt like being reasonable. Here's the part nobody tells you. Your brain isn't designed to make you exceptional. It's designed to keep you alive. And for most of human history, those two goals were opposites. Standing out from the group meant being noticed by predators, by rival tribes, by anyone looking for a target. Blending in meant survival. So your nervous system inherited a rule it still hasn't updated. A rule that has nothing to do with the boardroom or the group chat, and everything to do with a version of the world that no longer exists. The tallest blade of grass gets cut first. Psychologists call the mechanism behind this homeostatic identity. The idea that your brain doesn't just regulate your body temperature and heart rate, it regulates your sense of self the same way. It has a set point for how much attention, success, and visibility feels normal to you. And the second you drift above that set point, it treats the gap like a threat instead of a win. Not because success is dangerous, because unfamiliar is dangerous. And to a brain running on ancient software, unfamiliar and dangerous are the same word. This is why the fear isn't really about failing. You can imagine failure and shrug it off. You've survived plenty of failures already. They're familiar territory. What you can't picture, what actually spikes your cortisol, is succeeding in a way that changes how people see you. Because if you're suddenly the one who got promoted, the one who got noticed, the one who's doing better than the room, you've left the safety of the group average. And some ancient part of your brain is still convinced that the group is the only thing that ever kept you alive. There's a term for what happens next, borrowed from marine biology of all places. The crab bucket effect. Put one crab in a bucket, it climbs out easily. Put in several, and the moment one starts to climb, the others pull it back down. Not out of strategy, just instinct. Humans do a quieter version of this to each other, and an even quieter version to themselves. You don't need anyone else in the bucket. You'll pull yourself back down without any help at all. Because some part of you has learned that rising above the people around you comes with a cost nobody wants to pay. Distance, envy, being watched differently, being needed less and resented more. So your brain runs the math before you even consciously decide anything, and it keeps landing on the same answer. Average doesn't get you fired. Average doesn't get gossiped about. Average doesn't make anyone feel threatened enough to pull away from you. Average is safe in a way that excellence never will be. And safety, to a brain built 4 million years before the concept of ambition existed, will always outbid growth. This is also why so many people sabotage themselves right before things start working. Not at the beginning, when failure is expected and low stakes. Right at the edge of visible success. Right when the business starts to grow. Right when the relationship starts to feel real. Right when the body starts to actually change. That's not a coincidence, and it's not weakness. That's a threat response firing exactly on schedule. Because the identity shift that's about to happen is the exact thing your nervous system was built to prevent. And here's what makes it so hard to catch. It never announces itself as fear. It shows up disguised as humility, as being realistic, as not wanting to make things awkward, not wanting to seem arrogant, not wanting to peak too early. It shows up as every small, reasonable-sounding reason you had for putting your hand back down. None of this means you're broken, or lazy, or lacking discipline the way you've probably told yourself. It means you're running a survival system that was never updated for a world where standing out is usually rewarded instead of punished. The system worked exactly as designed for the environment it was built in. It just never got the memo that the environment changed. So the next time you feel that pull, the urge to shrink the achievement, downplay the win, put the hand back down before anyone notices it was ever up, that's not humility talking. That's 4 million years of programming mistaking your growth for danger. The question is whether you're going to keep listening to a system built for a world that doesn't exist anymore, or whether you're finally going to let the room see your hands stay up. How many times this week have you already put it back down?